again, not the first time, the west end of the parking lot. To my right down there is the west end of the parking lot. But to the east end, we do have some coffee and donuts going down there. We've got another pot of coffee brewing, but we've got plenty of donuts down there. Please help yourself because, yeah, we don't want to take them home with us.
There's a picture of you and Bruce together. And look at that. Ah! You'll find that card in dune buggies and hot VWs. Very cool. All right. We want to do this for a long time. Thank you, Harry.
All right. Come on up. Make sure you buy your tickets. Again, we've got lots of stuff going in for the raffle tomorrow morning. Lots of generous sponsors and donors. And in fact, right at the beginning of the drivers' meeting, I will have a special
How much are they?
Okay.
You see a lot of
You gotta get a new phone.
and I should know better because you never do.
Yeah.
Somehow I thought I was.
Oh, dude! Very cool. How you been, man? All right, everybody, if I could kind of get your attention, please. We got a lot of people here. I know there's a lot going on. We got to try and get a lot of people out of this parking lot to get out there and enjoy. Line up. Captain's Anchorage is right on the other side of Walgreens right here. There's a big... Without your cars, we'll gather here at the back of the club trailer first and kind of let this crowd... Clear. Yeah. Okay, so that's the off-road to Pioneer Town, MC2. That's the red and yellow, red and yellow. We're going to gather over here.
Wow, this is so cool.
Very cool.
Big
or
Valley?
Bonanza. They do a lot of filming in that Big Valley for that section back there.
Wow. I could
Everybody make it?
Yep. Je suis là, il retourne flipper.
People, new members out here for the first time on their first Manx Club event, relying on their Manx Club family. Happy. All right, well, you want to talk to the people? You want to say something?
About what?
About what? What do you mean we're about what? How many times have we stopped for you today?
No, I'm really happy. I always want a Max, and I'm really happy.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you're
To
happy.
be part of the club.
That's awesome. Okay, we'll pick one of these and add one of your many problems to it. Okay, yeah, no, and he helped you out, so you got to take this one. He's presenting you with that one. All right, there you go. Now, what you want to do is you want to add something to that, and then when you finish that, when you come to the next event, you get to hand that to the next person. That's meaning that you didn't have a problem again, and you get to keep it.
I'll be in the next year event, and I'm really happy. Really.
Looking forward to seeing you at the next event. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Meyers Manx has showed up. We got the group from Meyers Manx LLC here, and they would like to take a moment. So we got Philip Seraphin, Freeman Thomas. Who else is coming up with you? Just you two of you now, or
Just us two.
okay? From Meyers Manx LLC.
How are you all, everyone? My name is Philip Seraphin. First off, I want to say that I've had an incredible time at my first Manx Club event, and it'll be the first of many. We are looking forward to carrying on Bruce's legacy, and that means hearing recommendations from you all on how we could continue to carry on Bruce's legacy in the best way possible. Anyway, I can't wait to get back together with you all again and get back in the dirt. I'm going to pass the mic to Freeman.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi. So I got to meet so many of you today, and for me, this is a lot about how I grew up. I grew up in Huntington Beach, and also in Cypress, California. And when I look around, I look at the Manx Club. It seems like my neighborhood. When I see what Bruce created. And which is amazing. I think that Bruce is and always has been a genius, and the Manx Club really is what Winnie did. And I think that with Winnie, creating all of you together, I think has been an amazing thing. So I'd love to have a big applause for Winnie. Yeah, and. I tell you, every time that I talk to Winnie, I learn so much. And as I'm walking around and I'm listening to owners on the cars and the backgrounds behind the Manxes, I am learning every single day. A lot of people don't know who I am. I don't know if you've read about my background or anything, but I met Bruce back in the 90s, and I was the chief designer of Volkswagen in the California studio. And I invited Bruce into the studio, and we had actually, had started a lot of kind of fun work that was very Manx-like in the studio. And so I spent about 2 days with Bruce, and we kind of became kindred spirits at that point. We really always stayed in contact, and I went on in my career in automotive design through the years, and always saw him like up at the Art Center and places like that, and always talked to Winnie and Bruce. And a few years ago, I saw a Meyers Manx coming out of the Santa Monica Mountains. I had just retired from Ford. I ran advanced design for Ford Motor Company, and I looked at the Manx, and I thought to myself, there is so much magic in that Manx. So, excuse me, it's a little bit emotional, and I know it is to you too. But anyway, so I called up Philip, and I said, Philip, what do you think if we called up Winnie and Bruce, and let's see what they want to do with the company? So anyways, we called up Winnie and Bruce, and we started a dialogue. And they had a lot of people coming towards them, wanting to take over the company, but we wanted to have a great future for the company. We didn't want just to have another company. We wanted to bring together some really creative people that would respect what Bruce and Winnie had done. And that's what we are doing. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work to try to catch up to what Bruce and Winnie have created. And so our goal right now is to create kind of a time machine that you can go back to when, Bruce started in the 60s. And he started with that beautiful Meyers Manx and went into the Meyers Toad, and then later into the Manxster with Winnie. And, the genius of what Bruce had done is so amazing. As a designer, as an industrial designer, as I study the design of what Bruce has done, he took this utilitarian Volkswagen chassis, and he went out to the dunes, and he looked out there, and there was already the Burrows, and there was the MPs and those cars out there, and they're great, because I see them here, and I really respect them, and I respect the craftsmanship. But what Bruce did, he put humanity to a vehicle. That's very difficult to do. Something that you connect with. Something why we're all here today. Why all these cars are here today. Even the people that decided to copy the Manx, they were celebrating something great. So I see that all the copies are welcome because they're celebrating what Bruce created. And so that's why we're emotionally connected to creating a future for Meyers Manx. And so we've got a new facility in Costa Mesa, right on the Newport Beach border. It's literally a stone's throw away from where Bruce created the very original Manx down on Lido Island, and then later with Road and Track and some of the buildings around here. We want to make it your home, a place that you feel comfortable to come into. We've already ordered 50 new bodies in every single metal flake color. And once we have all of those are going to be a beautiful display, so that you're going to be not looking at color chips. You're going to be walking in and looking at bodies. We're going to have a full color studio. We have designers that will work with you to create color combinations and accessories and things like that. And we're going to make it affordable, because that's one of the things that Bruce and Winnie really wanted to do, is make it affordable, make it so that there was a level that, connected to everybody. So that's going to take a lot of work, and we have a lot of work ahead of us. So I just wanted to introduce us and our passion for being here and being with you. And we're going to be at these events, and we're going to help any way we can to make this an even better event. Anything that Winnie asks for, we're going to give her. So, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Exciting future looks like ahead. For stand up, please. And once again, I want to thank all of our run leaders. Brett, stand up. Brett, Danny. Brett and Danny Hughes are up here. Again, we've been communicating with them for weeks now. Our main contact up here, they're, again, up here pre-running the trails. You know, let me know what's going to work, what's not going to work.
It's our first time out with the buggy, first time in the dirt. Thought everything was good. And as it turned out, hey, everything ended up good. We're still here, we're standing, we're alive. When you're going down a hill with buggies in front of you and you got no brakes and you're yelling no brakes, and you're swerving to avoid everybody, and here's the berm going like this. It was all good, but most importantly, can't say enough about the support that we got from everybody, the leaders, Chase Guy, and everybody in between that brought tools up, and found out a couple of rocks and a zip ties and some tape, and we were able to get brakes at least to 3 wheels again. But we didn't feel it was safe enough to continue on, so we came back. We thought that was the smartest choice. So we're looking forward next time, getting everything squared away and completing the run and being able to give this back to somebody else.
Look forward to seeing you out on the next run. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. A quite experience that happened on the trip up here. And it's this Manx Club family that really makes this whole experience special, and understanding that support that you have for your fellow Manx Club member and what you are willing to do for that member without even a blink of an eye. You just, please, come on, you two. I'm not going to be able to tell the story the way that you guys can tell the story, and this is something that you guys will enjoy to hear.
So we were running, and we saw it, and it was this. So we had to come around.
Also, if you didn't realize there was
I'd like to start with you. You can begin the story. Please introduce yourself and tell the story, and then I'll pass it on to the observers and how that story continues. And I'll go ahead.
My name's Russ Fleenor. I've been buggying since '63. Started out with Burroughs. I'm still with Burroughs. I built a lot of Tupperware cars. I call them Tupperware cars. I always did. My mom sold Tupperware. My mom sold Tupperware, so I call them Tupperware cars. Sorry, not to be disrespectful. But, so we wanted to come up to this bash. I've been out of the buggy thing for a lot of years, doing other stuff. And I threw the buggy on, rather than bringing the toy hauler, because I didn't think I had a place to park it up here. And I threw it on my utility trailer, and I got to about 5 miles from the 330 turnoff, and the spindle on the axle of the trailer started melting. It was turning, it wasn't a froze bearing, I don't know what happened. But, I'm sorry. Now I'm a nut. So I pulled off the road. I saw a couple sparks flying. Pulled off the road, and I got a beautiful spot. There was an on-ramp next to the freeway, and I was 40 foot from the slow lane. I was way off the freeway. I felt very safe. Stopped. I went and saw what was going on. So we've got to get the trailer towed out of here someplace and change the spindle. Took a picture. But before that, I unloaded the buggy because I knew the trailer was going to have to be towed away. So I unloaded the buggy off of it, took a couple other things off of it, put the buggy up on the ice plan embankment, and went and showed her the pictures of what was wrong with the trailer. She was on the phone talking to AAA.
As we're sitting in our F-350.
Yeah, sitting in the truck, and all of a sudden I thought a semi hit us in the rear. Turns out it was somebody in a car doing 80 miles an hour, hit the trailer, went through the trailer, tore the trailer off the truck, totally shredded the trailer. Wow. And it was full-sided trailer and everything, and turned around backwards in the second lane, in the middle lane, I guess it was, and pushed us 65 feet. And so I get out of the truck and I go back, and and cars were screeching. They were not seeing her. The whole front of her car was tore off, and she's facing oncoming traffic. I pulled the buggy out and turned the left turn signal on so there'd be something blinking out there, and started waving my arms like a nut, you know, like they can see me, and they're not even looking over the side of the road. And
And here comes the Cornells.
I see these two buggies on a trailer go by, and I turned this into this. You know, I turned it into that, and then got the buggy out of the way. That was a better idea, and got myself out of the street, and then finally the traffic started slowing down, and here came the CHP, and I turned around, and this lady right here.
We'll let them tell the story.
Continued.
So here we are. We wanted to leave town at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that didn't happen. So now it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're driving up here, and we come up on this accident, and I'm like, Ira, it's fresh, it's fresh. And I'm scanning the accident as we're trying to drive around the car in the middle lane. And I'm like, there's a buggy. They have a buggy. And he's like, there wasn't a buggy.
I didn't see a buggy.
And I'm like, it was one of the all metal ones, honey. It was one of the all metal ones. And he says,
Oh, a burro?
and then he says, oh, we're going back.
We're gonna go back.
So we get off on the off-ramp, and we swing around, and we come back on the freeway, and we pull up behind them, and the officers aren't even there yet. And we get out of the car, and our kids are asleep in the car, right? They're all asleep in the truck, most of them.
Some of them were reading.
And so anyway, we walk up, and she's a little shook up, right? Here's this woman. She was we don't even know what happened. And I looked at her and I said, can I pray with you? And here we are in the middle of the freeway praying. And then after that, we kind of get updated on what happened, and the police start to arrive, and the woman gets out of the car and claiming that her cousin that was driving the car ran up the hill, and there was no cousin. She was the one that got out of the car. So anyway.
That was her sister.
Her
Sister. Anyway, so
Chase somebody else.
Anyway, so long story short, we're like grabbing brooms out of our car, and we're sweeping up the freeway. We're pulling all the stuff out, putting it alongside the road so it's out of the way. And the police are taking care of it, and the paramedics come and are checking them out and get them in the ambulance and get ready to go. And so we're like, what are you guys gonna do? So the tow truck comes, and we kept saying, how can we help? Well, what can we do? How can we help? So the trailer gets towed, and it was a crazy stack of metal that you couldn't even tell it was a trailer. Absolute scrap. It was awful. And then and we're like, well, how can we help? Well, first of all, I go, are you guys going to the Big Bear Run? And she goes, how did you know? And I said, because you have a buggy. And she's like, but how do you know? And I said, because we have two buggies. And she's like, oh, you're buggy people. And all of a sudden there was the instant bond, right? So then we're like, how can we help you? How can we help you? And long story short.
So Russ, they wanted to take Russ up to the hospital. Way past long just to make sure. So to make a longer story longer, Russ and his wife went to the hospital. We brought Russ and his wife went to the hospital, and then we took the buggy up to Big Bear, and once they got back up, then we settled up in the morning and had breakfast.
Listen, I know this guy loves me with all his heart. I know that.
Get up to the family.
Yeah. But to take your keys and simply put it in another man's hands after not seeing it for 40 years, a build that he did and got it back, and just said, here you go. I was like,
It had to be a buggy person.
it had to be a buggy person. And he looked at me and he said, don't you understand? Buggy people have always been like this. This is who they are. And I approached Mike and Rich and said, there needs to be something that about these everyday heroes, because these happen all the time. This is stories that each of you have that you can share. There has to be something, because this is so unique.
I think it's something that we'll definitely have to work on.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is what makes all of us so unique, in that we share something, a bond that other people don't have, they don't experience, and they don't know. But this right here is amazing.
And you look at this now as these were two separate people, and now they're one family. Just because of that buggy. And the help that you give out for your buggy people. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for coming up here and sharing your story.